Hey, everybody. Welcome. In my last video message to you, I promised that you'd get to hear from us more often and that it wouldn't just be me, but that you get to hear from some of our amazing staff and our lay leaders, the folks who are actually laying the foundation for a 2021 filled with joy and meaning and a safe recovery. And I am excited to introduce the very first in this series of conversations. My colleague today is Luba Palant, our Director of Community Engagement and the brilliant mind behind our Center for Social Impact. She has also been the one behind our leadership program. She's been with the JCC for over 12 years, and she's the mastermind behind so much of the work that we're doing to get out into the community, the celebrations that we're having, the service learning programs, the major events. We are truly blessed to have Luba on the team. And Luba, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me about community engagement for 2021.
Well, thank you, Zach. Thank you for this warm welcome. I appreciate all your kind words.
Listen, you have been really phenomenal. And in fact, I want to talk a little bit about what you did on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You and your colleague, Tamara, you held our annual Mitzvah Day event. It was the 14th year. For 14 years, you have been hosting the largest volunteer community service event on the peninsula. And I want to ask you, with COVID, how did this year's MLK Day, Mitzvah Day, National Day of Service, how did it look different for us?
Well, it was certainly an adventure for us to create this day. As you said, this is our annual signature event, and there's so many people who look forward to this day. And so we couldn't let them down. We had to provide this opportunity. And especially with this January being so crazy and, people are starved for something that they can do hands-on, that they can actually come out and help somebody. And so this was an amazing opportunity for us to provide this for people. We've created a virtual day of service, which meant we had 12 Zoom calls. And we offered this platform for our local nonprofits who are also starved for connection with people. We offered this platform to share about their amazing work. And they were extremely grateful, of course, to be able to engage with the community, to be able to engage with people who normally would volunteer for them. And now they couldn't bring them to their organizations because of COVID restrictions. So they shared about their work, and then everybody who participated in the particular project was able to do something hands-on to benefit those that this particular nonprofit work with. And so we received an overwhelming number of packages that people created for, animal shelters, for regular shelters, for educational organizations, for those who are in need. And of course, the biggest project, I think, this year was creating thank you packages for healthcare workers at El Camino Hospital, our local hospital. And we received such gratitude from all participants and from health workers who received those packages from our community. So I think overall it was a very, it was just a brilliant day for everybody. So I was extremely proud to be part of this community on that day.
I think we're all proud, Luba. We're all proud of being a part of the community. We're proud of you. And that was just one example of how we were able to pivot to doing our work online, to creating virtual events. But that was not the only one. I mean, this whole past year, you and your team have been doing a phenomenal job of making sure we keep the community connected, we keep the community healthy, that we keep community engaged. And it's all been virtual because of COVID. You even had a virtual Tu B'Shvat Seder last weekend. But tell us about some of the other highlights from this past year, some of the events that have stayed with you the most.
Well, our programming definitely shifted, and it's been evolving from the beginning when we started with very responsive programming to more proactive later in the year. And of course, Tu B'Shvat Seder yesterday was one of the examples of this proactive programming. We had a lot of holiday celebrations, and we've started with Passover Seder. And I would say that was one of the biggest highlights for me. It was the first holiday celebration that people could not share with their families outside of their immediate household. And we received so many phone calls and emails asking us to help celebrate. And so we've created this virtual opportunity through our Facebook Live. And we were joined by many families, not just in our local community, but also in their families from all over US.
If I recall, there were like 1,500 people that came,
yes,
right, Luba?
Yes, we've received 50. It's not 1,500 people, it's 1,500 computers.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know how many people were
They're
behind
often 2 or 3 or 4 people behind each one, right, to your point.
Exactly. And what was great with this virtual Seder is that people were able to see it whenever they wanted to see it, right? At their own time.
Right.
And we learned from it. And so we've created then the whole series of holiday celebrations throughout the year. And when we were able to do a little bit of in-person in a safe way, we've done, for instance, for Rosh Hashanah, we had the scavenger hunt added to the virtual component. We had the full week of programming for Sukkot and the full week of programming for Hanukkah for different demographics. And we were able to showcase musical performances specifically for Hanukkah, theater specifically for Hanukkah, the chefs in the community with cooking demonstrations. So it's just, I think our holiday programming this year was richer than any other year because we're able to show so much. And
that's remarkable.
Yes, and of course, with in terms of the opportunities that we had this year, we had created our programs, but we also brought a lot of curated programming with theater and book festival, and we've done a lot of virtual travel and tastings. And my personal favorite, of course, the programming that we've done through the Center for Social Impact, all the racial justice programming that we've done, the Power Through Voting series with 6 local JCCs. And we've connected many people to local hands-on opportunities like food distribution for those in need. So I know that my team is small, but they're mighty. And I am extremely grateful for Tamara and Nicole and Michelle and Mila that they've done an amazing work.
They really have. Thanks to your leadership. And you mentioned a little bit about the Center for Social Impact and your racial justice work. And I know you have some big plans for 2021. I know that it's starting this Sunday with a new Learning the Land series, a virtual civil rights tour is I think what you have planned for this Sunday. Tell us a little bit about this virtual civil rights tour and what else you have with the Learning the Land series.
Sure. So the series name actually is Amplifying Voices series. And that's the series that we've started with also collaboration with many other JCCs. And we had, it's a 6-part, and it's been designed to help us explore the intersectional relationship between the Jewish and Black communities from the civil rights movement through today. So the program that is going to be held this Sunday is the virtual civil rights tour. And it's a virtual historical tour with an emphasis on the cities of Birmingham and Montgomery and Selma. It will be led by Mary King, who is a head of Local Voices Network in Alabama. And this tour will be followed by the discussion, which is designed to create an environment where participants can identify, address, and eliminate their own individual biases. so that we're all able to connect with diverse communities. And then the last one in this series, on February 21, we'll have the musical Freedom Seder featuring the Afro-Semitic Experience. Afro-Semitic Experience is a band that was organized by Jewish American and African American musicians in 1998. And since then, they've been playing amazing music and uniting communities through music. So this whole Amplifying Voices series basically gave us this umbrella experience and brought a lot of different nonprofit organizations that work with communities of color, and gave voices to those communities and to those organizations, and gave us an opportunity to learn, which I feel like is an amazing thing right now in a digital era. And the fact that we bring many other JCCs into this conversation is also amazing.
Fantastic. I love it. Now, look, at some point this year, we know, Luba, that COVID will decline, that we'll be able to start having events in person again, God willing, at some point sooner rather than later, but definitely it's going to happen at some point. So what are you most looking forward to when that happens? What are you most looking forward to having starting up again?
Well, I personally missed family camp, of course. Any type of retreats where we're able to bring families together. Breaking bread during our Shabbat dinners, communal celebrations, just pure connection of families. And so I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that are coming up.
Great.
And especially in terms of connecting people, we have this new interesting program that we were very fortunate to receive funding from Jewish Federation for. The program is Grow Together. This program is for young families who are looking for deeper connections and belonging. And we will create small cohorts for them to participate in programs together, to learn together. When we have an opportunity to get together, definitely maybe hike or cook together, so that we come out of this isolation, and there are opportunities for this. So that
sounds like the old Chavara movement, where we put together a few families.
Similar to that. It's just I feel like we lost this opportunity to connect, and our kids really need to, and we need to provide this space. So this is our first step for that.
We've found that in this time, micro community can be so important, right? Even if it's one or two friends or other families, meeting outside in your backyard, socially distant, it's so vital for folks who are feeling this sense of loneliness right now. And the loneliness is leading to depression. And you, in some ways, are the antidote to that. Your ability to create community online, virtually, and now hopefully in person again soon is going to be an antidote.
Absolutely. And honestly, I mean, we've been creating this community throughout this year as well, of course. Majority of our online programming was interactive, and people were able to either interact with each other through Zoom or, post comments on Facebook. So this, I'm definitely grateful for. I'm also extremely grateful to be able to provide this community for our seniors, who we were very lucky in the beginning of the year. We spent a lot of time organizing classes, how to use Zoom, and training people how to use Zoom one-on-one. And now we have a very strong senior program, that Community Conversations, that Michelle Rosengotz runs, with hundreds of seniors coming on every week for amazing programs. So this will definitely continue this year.
That's great. I think what we've seen is that seniors, above all, are really in need of finding ways to connect, because the seclusion, the isolation, a lot of them, when they're at home alone, they're not able to be visited by families, it can really lead to a cognitive decline. So your work is literally saving lives, Luba.
Absolutely. And I'm very grateful to Michelle for this opportunity that she creates. And also our young adult community. In the beginning of the year, we've connected some of the young adults who are also by themselves at home with our seniors through our program called Engage that Nicole runs. So we make a lot of connections for people. And through our online programs, we also create a lot of conversations. I just wanted to mention a couple programs that are coming up. We will definitely continue with our author series. We bring a lot of different authors through our, partnerships with other JCCs. One of the authors that's coming up is actually Bill Gates, who will be talking about his new book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. And I'm sure this will create a lot of community conversations. Another opportunity that we'll have online is we're going to be running a documentary screening, Children of the Inquisition, about the hidden history of what happened to the families forced to convert to Catholicism or flee during the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisitions through the eyes of their descendants. We'll run this documentary, and then separately we'll have a conversation with the creator of this documentary. So there are many opportunities to participate in those community conversations online. And definitely when we're back in person, this will give something for people to discuss.
Fantastic. Well, Luba, thank you for spending the time with me today. Thank you for all the work that you do. I know this has been a tough year for you and your family as well, but you have done a phenomenal job of working to make sure our community stays connected, you and your whole team. So thank you. And folks, to all of you out there, I just want to say thank you for joining us. The work of the Center for Social Impact and the community engagement team is fantastic. And that's in large part due to so many of you, because your donations have really helped keep us alive, keep the JCC thriving this year. Your support's been critical to allowing us to continue to do this very important mission critical work. So thank you for being a part of us. I hope you'll come back and join us for some of the programs that Luba talked about, but join us for anything else that you find strikes your fancy. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.